Nigeria's economic hub, Lagos, will be heading to the polls this weekend in the state's governorship election. The main opposition, People's Democratic Party, hopes to create an upset in the state by unseating incumbent Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu. As governorship candidate AbdulAzeez Adediran joins us now from our studios in Lagos. And good to see you, and thanks for your time. The big question on the lips of many watching this moment is how you hope to unseat an incumbent in the coming elections.
Well, good evening, Sola, and good evening, everybody. Well, of course, on Saturday, Lagosians will be going to the polls to elect a new governor who is going to begin a tenure of a fresh 4 years in office. And we're so certain, as people of Lagos, we have never been this hopeful that in another 1 week we'll be having somebody who will be warming up to resume office of governor of Lagos State in the main opposition party, the PDP. To answer your question, one candidate that has been on this for 7 years, going to 8 years, preparing for that office, unlike what we have and what we've been having, that's people who never prepare to govern, who never envision to be in office, just unpicked by an individual and put them there. But this time, the people of Lagos have been familiarizing with somebody who has actually given a shot to the office to say, you know what, you don't need to wait until somebody make a pronouncement to you that this is your governor. You can have an idea of who the person is long enough to examine that person and see if what you want in your governor is in this person. So we've long expressed readiness and our level of preparation for this is top-notch because we've been to everywhere in the state of Lagos over the last 8 years. I mean, 7 years going to 8 years. So for us, it is for us to take this Saturday. And if you can see, already the outgoing governor is jittery already. They are everywhere. They are trying to appeal to those that they've harassed over the last 8 years and see if they can get things done. But unfortunately, it is too late. On Saturday, Lagosians across all tribes will be heading to poll and elect what we call a governor that is going to give them that breath of fresh air. And that they found in us as a people, they found in us as a party. So we're very optimistic that this time the People's Democratic Party will take Lagos and will win it landslide.
Well, you don't have only the APC to contend with. You have Labour Party Tsunami to deal with in Lagos. I wonder how you plan, what your strategy is to overcome that Labour Party tsunami. And then again, there's a huge debt overhang over Lagos State, 877 billion naira as at September of 2022. How are you going to address this huge debt overhang on Lagos?
Okay, let me first speak to the wave that you actually spoke about. Of course, it is okay for anybody to enjoy or to ride on the current wave, as brought in by Peter Obi, you understand. And we've said it over and over again. Everybody that was defeated in last week's election didn't lose to Labour Party. They lost to Peter Obi. In our constituency here in Etiosa local governments, very, hardworking House of Representative candidate in the name of Banky W didn't lose to whoever won that thing today. He lost to Peter Obi. And this coming election, Peter Obi is not on the ballot. So, but again, if you look at the pattern of the votes, if you're conversant with Lagos votes, you will then notice that the entire vote that came from Lagos West, which is the largest senatorial district, these are votes from traditional PDP voters who knew what they were doing, because the majority of them, even before election, we went to them, appealed to them. We're practically begging them. They said to us, this is what we're going to do. But March 11th, we're going to come back to do it the way we've been doing it. And that is why you will see that today, since 2 days ago, the governor of Lagos State has been going around the Lagos West to see whether it can swing, something. But unfortunately, like I said, it is too late in the day. So we understand there is a wave created by Peter Obi for February 25th election. But that wave, and just like we said, let them do a rerun of election in Lagos today without Peter Obi on the ballot, or anywhere in Nigeria today without Peter Obi on the ballot, you will see a severe beating for anybody that is in Labour Party. Now, this is just to speak to the fact. If you're a politician, if you understand, you will know that all the traditional or indigenous local government in that election, Tinubu won it. Tinubu won it because, hey, they say this is one of us, whatever it is, and let's give it to you. And those indigenous local government can't be won by Sowolu at this time. We are going to win them landslide because, of course, they know what they want. Is not today. Now, coming to the debt profile of the state government as we speak, it's quite unfortunate that just this government alone has done over around 284 billion naira in its 3 going to 4 years in office. But there is nothing appreciable to show for it. So we are aware that we have this huge debt. And if you see Lagos, with the kind of revenue that we generate, and if you have to have the federal receipts and capital receipt to it, you will say that, okay, Lagos is a wealthy state. But the problem we have is that we have not seen this wealth on the street of Lagos. It's about time we make Lagos wealth work for Lagos. So we need a great manager who's got business idea, who has run his own business before, to come back and say, you know what we need to do is to deploy this way to make sure it works for the people of Lagos. That debt, as far as we are concerned, of course, is something that will come and manage our resources very well and see how we can reduce to a barest minimum. As a matter of fact, there is nothing wrong in you having a deficit in your fiscal policy. Of course, you're going to fund it anyhow. But what we are saying is, even if you have to borrow to fund your deficit, there must be something appreciable for it. Not that you run a budget across board and we cannot see this budget doing anything, despite the fact that you kept on announcing a budget performance cumulative of over 80%, across board. We're saying there is nothing to show for this. So yes, we are aware that the debt profile is there. For instance, I have something to do to quickly rake in money when we get into office. Because in Lagos, out of about 6 million houses that we've got in Lagos, only 20% do have CFO. There was a governor who came sometimes in Southwest here, I think Ogun State to be precise. And when the governor came, he said, okay, I know that it takes about a year or two to process a CFO in this state. Okay, let me give you a promo. Under 3-4 months, I can give you a CFO at a very reduced price. And before you know it, he got so much money into the government coffers. Because in Lagos today, for everybody who is in the real estate, they will tell you, before they can process an approval to build, it takes a longer time. And you see quickly. A lot of business just hanging in there.
Mr. Adediran, quickly
some of these things we're going to use as our own low-hanging fruit to quickly rake in money.
All right, that said, quickly here, apologies to Button. You're running on what they call a joint ticket, and still going around what Ngozi asked earlier on, the big incursion of the Labour Party. Perhaps this time we should be talking about your running mate. Lagosians also would want to know what motivated you to choosing your running mate that may ultimately be part of the winning team you spoke of.
What was it about my running mate?
What motivated you to choosing her as your running mate?
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So, okay, of course, if you see what we've been able to do, it's going to be the first of its kind in Nigeria that you've never seen any politicians do. And for us, we want to present a candidacy that is a radical departure from the stereotype norm. That is what informed the choosing of my running mate. Aside the fact that she is a Lagos girl child who has done well in her chosen career, even though she read law at the university, she found passion in filmmaking, She's been an entrepreneur, an employer of labor in this same economy. She knows what it takes to source for funds, turn it around, and still make profit, you know. And in a chosen career, nobody has ever beaten her record. She's known, she's popular. That's something that you never see in other deputy governorship candidates or existing deputy governor. I mean, I've asked this question before. The popular Governor Wike, who knows his deputy? If you mention some of these governors, nobody knows their deputy. They'll just pick somebody and tuck them in somewhere. In our own case, we think it's about time we have a value to a ticket. It's about time that people can speak to the fact that, no, this is different. And that is what we have presented to Lagosians to say, you know what, you can check the track records of everybody who is running on this ticket and see what we are bringing to the table. So we're coming to run an economy, you know, of Lagos, and it's not rocket science, but the failure of the current administration has conditioned people's brain to think it's rocket science to run an economy such as Lagos. It's just simply to ensure the well-being of the people in all sectors of Lagos economy and all of that. So what we then need to do is somebody who has had cost to run his own business before. You know, if a salary earner all your life, like, you know, the outgoing governor and his deputy, who has never invested any kobo of this in any business before somebody and pick them to come and be in office, you find it so difficult to run. That's why somebody can borrow that huge amount of money with nothing to show for it. But if you've done this before in your own personal life, you will know that, okay, if I borrow this money and there is a cost on that fund, I must do everything humanly possible to turn around this fund. Not just to stay afloat in my business, to also make profit, being able to pay salaries and still remain in business. So that's such a person that you need to run an economy. But if you are a salary and I've been, I'll just be there and wait for 30 days, somebody should pay me, then I go. Whether or not the business make profit, I don't care. So this is the difference between our candidacy and it. If you speak to experience, this is what we should be speaking to. I'm privileged to have had experience in public and private sector. You understand? And that is working for us. That is what we're bringing. That's something different that we're bringing to the table. And our candidacy is what we give the people of Lagos that breath of fresh air.
Breath of fresh air, indeed. Just hearing that already gives you a fresh breath of fresh air. Let's talk about the challenge of Lagos: traffic, housing. A population of 20 million people in that state, a huge chunk don't have adequate housing. How are you going to tackle these two challenges, traffic and housing?
I've said something over and over again. Before you can proffer a solution to any problem, you must have a deep understanding of that problem. This is what differentiates us from others. When I'm speaking about what to do in Lagos, I speak to reality, what people can connect with. Okay, if you look at the state of Lagos, you want to speak about traffic. In the interim, there are plans, I mean, without spending fortune. On the long term, there are plans so that you give Lagos that mega city status that we're speaking to. So in terms of ensuring that we have a saner, road in Lagos, unlike what we have today, you're going to take a look at the flashpoint. We have 12 of them. Some of these flashpoints don't require infrastructural renewal. They just require a governor with a strong will to tell this NURTW allowing vehicles to park on the road because they are taking tolls from there to get off the road. It requires a strong will governor to be on his feet and ensuring that even your own agency in the name of LASMA didn't even have to the problem they're supposed to be resolving by providing leadership to say, you know what, you can't do this on the road. I can speak to it over and over again. I like to make practical examples. We've had a governor in this state before who everybody would think is behind him on the street because you dare not go on the wrong side of the law. Why? It's because the governor decided to lead by example. I beg your pardon. And we've also have another governor in this state before, in Ambode, who just left. You know, this governor provided this this vehicle to ensure that the moment you have emergency on the road, they come to take off that vehicle and take it to a very safer place for you so that traffic can flow without collecting a dime from you. All of that, they've disappeared now. So we've taken learnings from all of this and we are bringing them back. You see, there's nothing wrong in copying what is good. What you then need to do is to better it. So
all right, that's a good place to leave it.
Now, let me speak to one or two flashpoints that we have seen in Lagos, and now we can quickly resolve them.
Can you make that in 30 seconds? We're out of time. If you can do that in 30 seconds, we're out of time, please.
Okay, I've used the Lagos CBD as an example and the 3rd Mainland Bridge as an example. Everybody knows that traffic goes to the island in the morning, and if you're coming on the 3rd Mainland Bridge, I keep saying this: there is an span of land by your left lying fallow. We are going to make sure we build a park and ride there. We dredge the water all the way to the CBD, and we will do a policy that will inform that if you're the only one in your car, you don't have a business on the 3rd Mainland Bridge. Go to the park and ride and join ferry to the CBD. With that, we would have reduced the number of vehicular movement we have on the 3rd Mainland Bridge, also reduce the number of vehicles you have in the Lagos CBD, so that everybody can really work and connect together. Thank you.
AbdulAzeez Olajide Adediran is the governorship candidate of the PDP in Lagos State. Thank you for joining us.